So,
Yeah.
are there there's an enforced schedule, right? Like there'll be a lights out, like a sleep schedule and a wake
Yeah,
schedule.
I think so. I think I read something about like maybe you wake up at 7 a.m. and you go to bed at 11 p.m. or something like
Are you
that.
like low grade looking forward to getting that? Like helping?
Sure. Why not? I'll just get into that sleep schedule. It's not like I'm gonna be staying up late, doing anything anyway. Once, I'm sure I'll be sleepy, by the time it's 11. I'm gonna be active during the day, I guess, doing shit. Depending on whatever's going on. Like I'm hoping there's a gym. I'll do some working out, do some running, and I'll be eating that delicious prison food that you always hearing people rave about.
The potato chips are actually good. Like
those come from the commissary.
I want more right now. I'm like, oh, they weren't so crunchy. I see what they're talking about. They're super seasoned, and that part is immune to breaking. They're really good.
I'm wondering what the food's like. Like in my head, I'm thinking minimum security, better food. But it might be the same slop they're giving people who raped kids or murdered their spouse. So that would suck. Maybe. I think that if you don't do something that bad, you should get better food.
Yeah, I have no idea. I know that like jail food was god awful. It was so nasty, man. It was so awful. Just the lowest grade of everything. The like sausage links looked like they were just dried out and like shriveled. The oatmeal had no sugar or butter in it or anything. It was just oatmeal. I don't know if you've ever eaten oatmeal by itself. It's like mashed potatoes. If you're not putting something in there, what's the fucking point?
It's not
terrible.
For people that don't know,
allergic to oats.
I think jail is where you spend your time while you're awaiting trial, right? So that can be a long time. Sometimes trials drag out for more than a year, and people spend that time in jail. Then there's prison. Prison is where you go after you've received your sentence. And sometimes, especially like in Kyle's case, jail is worse than prison because once you go to prison, you're sorted with people who are of a similar level offender. Whereas when you're in jail, you're mixed in with everybody. So if you're like not really an axe murderer like Kyle, then you're mixed in there with the people who are axe murderers in jail. But after prison, the grand sort happens.
Yeah, that's mostly accurate. I think sometimes if you've done certain crimes, you would be sentenced to jail. If you've done some low level like local or maybe state crime, and they can sentence you just to jail. And the jail that I went to, they actually did have us separated somewhat. I think that the guys that we were all in very similar accommodations, but it seemed like everybody in my like block, we were all in there for fucking drugs. Everybody was in there for weed or meth, except for that one guy who had got caught breaking into his neighbor's shed, and that other guy who had apparently molested the small girl. but that was
sounds fucked up. But I feel like if you're entering prison, that's definitely a guy you want entering at a similar time to you. Is a guy who like raped a kid, because you're like, nobody's paying attention to me right now. Like everybody's like, and then you can join in too, like you said you did, where you're like, man, do you hear what Ted did? That sick son of a bitch, man. I sure am glad we're not like him. You guys want to be friends? No, I don't. I definitely don't want that SS tattoo. Looks good though. Looks good.
Sick Kyle. I was watching Indiana Jones last night. And I forgot this little part. There's Nazis mixed all in it. The whole first movie is them trying to get the Ark of the Covenant from the Nazis. And there's this part where the guy's got the little Makuchin monkey or whatever the fuck on his shoulder, and he's meeting up with the Germans, and he goes, Heil Hitler, and the Germans go, Heil Hitler, and the monkey goes, and they return the salute to the monkey. And I love that part. I had forgotten that. I hadn't seen it in so long. It's so fucking good.
That is funny. The little goddamn Germans, and they're teaching monkeys to sing Heil. Is there no extent to which they won't go? Man, I'm trying to think of more stuff. Like, they probably have classes, right? In prison where you can go and either make license plates or learn to paint or something.
So again, like I hear about that stuff. I think maybe that's like, it depends on what prison you're at, what's going on. And I think maybe like, I hear about that, but I don't know.
What new skill would you choose to develop in prison?
Interesting.
Self-defense.
Carl's going to come out like a ham radio operator.
Yeah. Can I join that ladder building class? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Like I'm kind of handy, you know. I mean, I built my own
Mhm.
PC, not to brag. You know, I can do some basic plumbing. I can wire up a ceiling fan. I could like, you know, I'm not gonna.
So would you like to like further that like home
No,
ownership type stuff?
no.
Okay.
You know, I can do my own crown molding. You know, I got some skills. I can do basic shit.
Automotive, maybe.
Well, if I ever need automotive advice, I'll go to Conway, South Carolina, first of all.
What
all
about
right?
the kitchen?
I prefer to learn from a master.
What,
all right?
what if you could?
Anakin
raise the level-
Skywalker didn't just go off and learn his trade from. He went to the Jedi Council. Okay,
Mhm.
so if I were to learn something, and I have Wings of Redemption at my disposal, I'm going straight to him for that.
He's the
That's
Yoda
good.
of automotive repair.
If there were a
Another thing
coding
you
class,
could-
I would take it just because I guarantee it's in an air conditioned room in a chair.
That has to be
That's
true.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
but
Another
I
thing
doubt
you
there's
could
going to be a
do
class.
is like, from my understanding, is that at every prison there's at least one elderly man who knows a lot about chess, and so you can become good at chess. That's
Yes,
that's
and he has a
something smart
pet
people
crow.
do.
An
He has a
elderly
pet
man
crow
with
that
a
he
pet
feeds
crow.
little bits. Yeah, but then you got to look out because a mean sociopathic criminal kills the crow and then infuriates a younger but good prisoner who comes back and fights on behalf of the old guy after he learns chess from him, of course.
Not Mr.
like quid
Jangles.
pro quo. Yeah.
He was going to be a circus crow.
He's gonna, he's gonna be a circus
He's
crow.
going to be a circus mouth.
Oh, that's so sad.
It's so sad. I cry every time he stomps that guy. Fuck you, Percy. You piece of shit.
That's a movie that like I get like Ramsey, Joffrey, whatever. I thought they were entertaining. When I see Percy in the Green Mile, it's just like, God, I know you're just an actor, but I want to shoot you. You're the worst. You
He's
suck.
the worst. He absolutely is. Yeah, I doubt there's going to be class, especially again because I think that the fact that I'm there for such a short amount of time will like prevent me from really getting the full prison experience. Like I probably won't be there long enough to get any tats or join
Yeah.
a gang or anything like
You
that.
get
But
fucked. Yeah.
yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully not. I might get a little fucking done though. You never know. You never know.
I won't
All right.
judge. You know, when you're in
Right.
prison, there's new rules.
Yeah. Well, Tony Soprano laid all this down. If you watch that
Mhm.
episode, he's like, now just to be clear, my incarceration it was not extensive enough for any sort of homo penetrations. He said something like that. But yeah, if I had to guess, I would say here's what if my guess is going to be that like you get up at like 7 a.m. and if you want to go to breakfast, you can. If you want to lay in bed, you can. And then there's probably some sort of like at 9 or 10 a.m. There's probably like work for everybody to do. They're probably filing us all out of there to go pick up garbage or
Yeah,
like.
just keep you busy with something.
From what I understand, we don't actually have to clean the prison. They've got people that's their job is to clean the prison. Like they're
Prisoners.
prisoners,
Right.
but they've been given that job. And so it's like, keep your area tidy. But like otherwise, like it doesn't seem like that's something you do. So I'm guessing that there'd probably be like several hours every day of like I would guess picking up trash or garbage or something like that. Or maybe we'll get to go tar a roof and drink some beer. Maybe something like that.
Probably
I
not
hope
that
that-
one.
I hope that it is a lot like the Shawshank Redemption,
Yeah.
except without the sisters.
I'd like to
No.
tell you that Kyle fought the good fight and beat up the sisters, but I can't tell you that.
I'd like to tell you that when Kyle left prison, his farts still made noise, but they didn't, and they never would again.
Oh God. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's going to be pretty monotonous days of like nonsensical, like trash picking up kind of work, and maybe some working out and some reading of books. And I hope there's television, but I don't have high hopes for television.
I thought television was common even in like shit tier prisons for people who
I
murder.
honestly don't know.
I imagine there's television. I'm just not sure it might just be common room television.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I don't need my own.
Now,
I mean, as long as it's
there's
like a nice
drama
70-inch plasma, you know.
Then there's
I have
drama and
standards.
politics around the television, right? Like
That's how you make friends in prison. The first thing I do, standard death?
Yes.
No, thank you. Was it Shrek 1?
You're going to be watching like E Entertainment or something. You'll want to change it, and you'll find out that the different gangs have different TV shows they want to see.
Never turn off Maori when the Latin Kings are watching. Man,
I want this episode, Holmes.
God damn it! I've seen this one before.
Spoiler alert! I am a father.
The baby's not his. Yeah.
That would be so funny if I imagine that's like a real thing. And I get all my information about prison from that show Oz. That seems realistic. You know, all you have to do get past the first day without having someone tattoo a swastika right near your butthole, and you're home free. But that's Belcher, or whatever the fuck his name was, he didn't do well. And the guy from the State Farm commercials, well, you know, or Allstate, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, I think it's Allstate. Yeah,
he was in that movie about like being angry at a band. I don't remember that.
Yeah, Schillinger. I can't think of his the actor's name. He's a good actor though.
It's Schillinger. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it's a minimum security
what are you
prison.
Wearing to it? Like, did you show up in an outfit? Did they say bring a white tee?
No, I'm sure they're going to provide some sort, some prison clothes. You know?
Well, they take all your shit when you go in and put it in like a bag, and then when you go out, you get it all back, right?
Yeah.
Who's taking you there? Dad, I guess.
No, I got a ride. I got a friend who's taking me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll head out tomorrow. I head out in the morning.
What time are you supposed to get there?
Before noon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's that's not so hard to accomplish.
Get there around 7 or 8 to make a good impression.
And extend your sentence.
Yeah,
that's so funny. Yeah, that it is such a stress on how not intense what you did is that they're like, show up noonish. Is that work for you? Is that okay? I know you probably want to have a late breakfast with your dad and mom or something, but yeah, noonish. We'll call it noonish. You'll be out of there in 4 to 8 weeks. I wonder if you could get off for good behavior. And does that even apply to a sentence?
I don't think so. I don't think I have enough time to show any good behavior.
You have time to show bad behavior. You can see how that works.
Definitely to have time for that. Yeah. We'll try not to do any of that. My parole officer, probation officer, he was like, give me a call whenever you're about to go check in, so I know that you're checking in. And I'm like, well, if I was going to run, I'd have ran 2 years ago. He's like, I was like, I had to be a real maniac to go through all of this, get sentenced to 60 days, and then run. He's like, I've seen crazier. I'm like, trust me, I'm going in. I'm going in, dude. Like, doesn't seem to be another option.
Well, I'm glad that worst case scenario, 60 days or whatever it is, because it's had the potential to be real shit.
Yeah,
we're not sharing the location, but I tried to find pictures of it and pictures of inside of it in particular, and couldn't. Do you have any did you try that too? Did you have any success?
No, I didn't really look too much into it. I looked at the outside of the place or whatever, and I read like a review or something like that. Like, there's a website where like prisoners review prisons. Like, it's
my God, what's this website?
It's like Yelp for prison.
Yeah, I don't even want to type it. I don't want it in my URL type ahead autocomplete. Like, I have secrets to keep.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be.
How did it do on Prison Yelp?
Oh, I like the posts that I found were literally like 8 years old or something like that. So I didn't even look too much deeper into it. I was really just trying to find out what part of the place I was going to be in, not to give too much away, like which area of it, because they've got like multiple kinds of they got like several levels of prison at each prison, and I was just trying to figure out what that was about. But yeah. Looks like
I looked into something similar and I didn't have a lot of success. So.
Yeah. I love that there's a Yelp for prisons, though. It's like the mashed potatoes suck.
That's an area where you could do well, right? You're looking for a prison job, maybe. That we talked about coding or car repair. What if you worked in the kitchen and really elevated their shit to the next level, right? That your phone calls to PKA could just be 20-minute diatribes on pepper and salt and other seasons I'm unaware of.
They're loving the spaghetti. It is the rave of Cell Block D. Everybody's going nuts. I got other people committing other crimes just to get into my cell block. Everybody's talking about it.
After lunchtime, they carry you on a chair like at a bar mitzvah or something.
They're sucking dick for spaghetti.
It would be funny if every time you came back on the show, you got a little bit more like, and these guys teaching me a lot about Hitler I didn't know. And then you get further and further down that line.
Yeah, I'm bringing my manifesto with me. That thing I read on the show about the Holocaust. I think that is going to really, really elevate me several levels once I get in there. When they hear my take on that, I'm going to be one of the guys.
These potato chips are stupid good. They're really good. They're everything they said they would be. I'm eating like broken potato chip crumbs, and I can't stop. They're really good. Oh, the whole shebang. They're not a sponsor. They're not a Slicks hidden. No, they're just
to all those people out there listening in prison.
yeah. If you're listening to this from prison, check out the whole shebang. If you get them off Amazon, they'll be destroyed. But good God,
dude, you have a short enough sentence. You could get racist henna tattoos and they would last long enough that you could pull that off.
What if I get these racist henna tattoos and it's all black guys in my cell block?
Well, then you just go wash off.
3 to 5 days. I don't think I'm gonna last that long.
No, I always shower in a shirt.
This is my shirt shower shirt.
I'm a never nude.
A never nude. That's
yeah, I think it's just going to be like a real boring, annoying prison camp camp. I was going to say just camp, like summer camp was what I was going to say. It is a prison camp, but I'm just annoyed that like I won't be able to do the show with you guys. I won't be able to play my video games. There's so many UFC fights I'm going to miss. Are
there a bunch of good ones scheduled for you?
Yes, there's all kind of stuff going on. There's a bunch of fights coming up in the next 2 months that I care about. I know Shevchenko's fighting. I think maybe the Cormier Miocic fight. I think that's coming up. I think that at light heavyweight that guy who like who's like got 3 first round knockouts and is really hot right now. And they're saying if he wins a couple more, they're going to throw him at John Jones.
Johnny Walker, baby.
Johnny Walker's got a fight coming up.
That's who you're talking about, right? The one.
It is. Yeah. The guy who did the flip and hurt his fucking arm. Like
he did the worm actually, and he busted his shoulder, and I think he needed surgery.
Yeah, really fucked himself up. It was pretty embarrassing. Right after a first round knockout, and there are more. I've been looking at them, and then I think The Irishman. I think that finally comes out. That Martin Scorsese movie.
I'm like, who could that be? He knows McGregor's name. Why is he guessing anyway? There's a few movies and TV shows. Season 2 of that Netflix show where they're after the serial killers. What's it called? Netflix.
They're after the serial killers.
Yeah. Mindhunter.
How cool would it be if they had the pay-per-view fights at your camp? Like that.
I'll check. Hey, take my $60. Let's do this. Like I'll pay. I'll pay if we all get to watch. Just let me sit up front. Give me a bag of.
Fucking love you. You bought a UFC fight for them, and the whole time you're just like, "Oh, that's the movie you want to watch." I mean, Guard, can we log into Amazon Prime? I'll use my account.
Mindhunters. That's an excellent show on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it follows the like true story of like the first FBI criminal profiler. They're like the first guys who ever said, well, wait a minute, maybe we should interview actual serial killers who we have caught and ask them why they do it. And maybe we should ask them like what their childhood was like so that we know like what the makeup of an actual serial killer is and why they do the things they do and why they don't do the things they don't do. And like, maybe that'll help us catch other serial killers who are active. And at the end of season 1, they teased the BTK killer. Like
that guy was fucked up.
Yeah. Like as the show's going on, you're really following the 2 FBI agents, and they're interviewing that terrifying giant man Yeah, I can't think of his name, and in prison, who's an actual prisoner, and there are actual interviews
Oh, yeah.
of this guy. He's the guy who like beat his mother to death with a hammer and had her head cut off. He was cutting all those women's heads off and stuff. And he's like their Yoda of serial killers. He's
Edmund Kemper. Yeah, that's
Edmund Kemper. Oh, if you want to see some great fucking acting, go on YouTube and watch the actual Ed Kemper interview.
I mentioned
Then
it
go
before,
watch
but there was a
Mindhunters.
hammer